I'm gonna prove to you why white people are the reason I'm fat today. If white people didn't go looking for spices, then various sea routes to Indian subcontinent and Africa and other places of the world would not get discovered. And if they didn't get discovered, then East India Company would never come to Indian subcontinent. And if they didn't come, then the fertility of the land would not get destroyed because they forced us to cultivate tobacco and dyes and opioid, things like that. And that destroyed the fertility of my country. And then, if that didn't happen, and if they didn't exploit and extract resources until my ancestors were left with nothing to eat, we wouldn't move to this grain heavy, very little nutritious diet that we have today. Also, if white people didn't come to the Indian subcontinent, then my ancestors would not go through 50 small, medium, large famines in a period of 200 years. That's a lot. And in 1943, nearly 3 million people would not have died due to starvation and malnutrition. And if that didn't happen, then this entire place and the people of this place would not adapt to survive on lower calories. We also wouldn't biologically be programmed to hold on to more fat because my genes, they always think, okay, you're gonna die. At some point, there's gonna be a famine, you will not have food, and you're gonna die. I would also not be prone to diabetes, high blood pressure, heart diseases, and all that other things. So yeah, white people is the reason why I can't lose weight.
Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. I realized why things aren't going to get any better and they're actively going to get worse. The entire discussion about restitution, retribution, justice, right? Who's been sidelined, who's been marginalized, all that. And it's one reason I am convinced that victimhood is here to stay as an industry. These issues that we have right now are never going to go. They are not going away. They are only amplifying every single fucking day. Every new bullshit narrative. Every new. And like the thing is, it doesn't even matter what demographic you are. You can have a custom tailored string of narratives that tell you in particular that you are oppressed, you are marginalized, you are taken advantage of, you are stepped on, blah, 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 right? Doesn't matter. You could be anybody. You could be any race, you could be any religion, you could be any gender, whatever. But now, when you can literally curate your entire social media feed to some degree, your Netflix subscriptions, why wouldn't you also be able to curate your own social identity? And in that, the amount of social credit you can amass by calculating just how marginalized you really are. And it's very telling. And the thing that really made me think about this was how the whole discussion, especially the discussion about dating preference, like I've been in this like online politics side of YouTube, especially YouTube, for it's going on 8 years now. Yeah, it's going on 8 years. is when I started paying attention to politics in general, let alone online politics, and especially online social politics or sociopolitics. Yeah. So, the topic of uh, white people being racist and all these other things falling from descending from it and everything, blah blah blah. Like, the one that really caught me off guard was the dating preferences. How if you don't date somebody of a certain race, you're racist. And it kind of makes sense because at the surface it makes sense because it's like, okay, yeah, why would you deny your entire race or entire culture, blah 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 blah. But the more I kept following that narrative, I realized how desperate it's a narrative that reeks of desperation. It is the feminist version of like incel justifications, right? Because incels will say, oh, like it's because my eyebrow is like 2 degrees too crooked, or my jawline is not chat enough, blah blah blah. That's why women hate me, and so it is a fucking it's a femcel narrative, and I think we've seen incels come and go, and they're still chilling, but like now we're seeing the rise of the femcel, right? It's what made me realize, like, leave alone, okay, dating preferences, humans are incredibly fickle when it comes to romantic and sexual relationships. For the most part. For the most part. They are incredibly fickle. And I don't really care if somebody chooses to date within their race or their religion or whatever. Same way I don't care if they date outside or you do, you interracial date. I actually lean more towards, like interracial dating and everything and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I think it does help break down a lot of barriers. But at the same time, if you grew up in like some regional town in like fucking Finland or Sweden or something, and you're just surrounded by other white people and you just marry other white people, fuck it. You could even be in America and just grow up around other white people your whole life. Yeah, sure, you could have different friends and everything, but your dating preferences are pretty much set in stone, right? Even if you end up dating interracially or whatever, that is because these are things that were uh, formed in your formative years, right? And it's it reeks of desperation how you will force, like, if I only choose to date black women or Asian women or whatever, right? Let's say because I'm black, I just choose to date black women. Does that make me racist? Like, does it? If I said like I only date black women for the rest of my life, or I only prefer or date white women, like, does that make me racist? No. Does it make a white man racist for wanting to date only white women? No, it doesn't, right? And the thing is, if somebody is genuinely racist, it will show up regardless of whether they're dating somebody within their race or in fact, like, sometimes even the interracial couples they exude that level of self-hatred and just bigotry towards other people and towards each other, and you're wondering like, why the fuck are you even what was this about, what was this for, right? But that's kind of a tangent. So everybody has their own personal excuse to feel like a victim now. Everybody, literally every fucking body, right? Well, because what kind of marginalized discussions don't exist, right? You have gender identity, you have sexual orientation, you have fat phobia, you have ageism, you have a classism, right? This is on top of the good old reliable racism and sexism, right? This is all this stuff. So now, at least what I'm seeing happening online is people are like getting a list of all the bigotries, and they're like fitting themselves in like where the they're just going through. So like, okay, transgender, sexual orientation, gender queer, fucking cat girl, communist. I don't know at this point. I'm losing my fucking shit, man. Like, and yet, this has not helped fix whatever issues it was we're trying to fix, right? Because again, look at the women's rights movements, right? Just look at feminism in general. Women fought to be taxpayers, right? Taxpayers and soldiers. They fought to be in the workplace. Okay, they got it. They fought to be in the military. There you go, right? You can work now. You're gonna pay taxes, and you can also join the military for whatever fucking reason. Congratulations. It didn't stop there. Then the wage gap came up, and literally the wage gap has been debunked so many times, but people still keep repeating the fucking same shit over and over again. Sounds familiar, right? If you look at how, feminists focus on breaking the glass ceiling and fighting for equality in the workplace and in the corporate world. And it is so evident to me that this Discord is still being led by fucking psychopaths. These are psychopaths who are so refined. They are almost in the perfect niche that they could have never dreamed of this having this type of niche, right? You're advocating for the marginalized, and you can silence pretty much anyone anytime you want? Oh man, that has to be a dream come true. And I've said many times, I'm gonna make a video about how the corporation is a psychopathic entity, right? From its inception. I've been really dragging my feet about it, but I've been researching it, so I'm gonna put it out. When you say you want to fight for equality in the corporate world, what the fuck does that mean? Like, imagine, what do you think that means to me, right? When I hear that, knowing what the corporate world is, it is a den of psychopaths and sociopaths by design. Let's say narcissists, right? It's a den of psychopaths and narcissists. That is why it was developed. That is who it was developed by and for. Why, like, who would be that stupid to fight for equality in a place that was designed by psychopaths to cater to psychopaths? Aren't you just setting yourself up for failure, right? But again, the people who are advocating for this position are the psychopaths themselves, right? They're leading the fucking sheep and the lemmings into their into their sales funnel for as long as they possibly can. What is the point of fighting for equality in a world that, especially now, is driven by inequality? That's what keeps the revenue up. That's what keeps the stocks going up. That's what keeps the fucking top 1%. The top 1% have become the top 0.01% so many times over in the last 10 years alone. It's not even funny. And the delusion of it, so many of these people are fucking natalists as well. The ideology doesn't just stop with you. It pushes to the future and your future children and their children's children. And it's like, you are invested in your fucking victimhood. You are transmitting, like, it's like sexually transmitted victimhood or something. A sexually transmitted victimhood complex, right? It is the same fucking reason, and I've said this before, it is the same reason, no matter the socio-economic conditions that a natalist is in, they will still give birth. They will still reproduce. Doesn't matter if it's in the fucking Hamptons, doesn't matter if it's in a war zone. They will still fucking reproduce. Right? You love to, they love to say, oh, poor people shouldn't reproduce because they don't have enough resources, blah, 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 blah. And I generally agree with that. But at the same time, it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't fucking matter because a natalist will fucking reproduce whenever, just because. Just because, right? They could be filthy fucking rich. They could be filthy fucking poor. Doesn't matter. They don't think, right? As much as I'd love to be like, you'd love to lambast the like poor people and other people in those kinds of hard up situations. They are ultimately the charcoal in this fucking demonic ass machine. They will still find a way to reproduce these people. This system will still find a way to reproduce these people because it needs them there as fucking human fuel. Literally. And it's so, the thing is, it's also how religion has operated, because religion is nothing without victimhood and martyrdom, right? You're a victim, you get killed because and they kill you because you are the true inheritor of the world, or you are truly the God's chosen one, or whatever justifications, right? You're actually better than them. That's why they victimize you, and that's why they kill you. Right? That sentiment is pervasive in pretty much every religion. Very few religious sort of systems stand out in that sense. The rest, Abrahamic religions, exact same, like the persecution complex is built in. That's why I can't even complain so much about this generation. This generation, we are the grandchildren of the boomers, right? Because there was Gen X, then us millennials, and then there's Gen Z after us. Then now there's Gen Alpha. Holy shit, those kids. Yeah, so we are the grandchildren of boomers. And the peak of consumerism started with them. They were called baby boomers because it was literally just after World War II that there was a explosion in fucking birth rates. Right? The whole world avoided, but it happened. Like, it was literally nuclear warfare. They dropped 2 fucking bombs on Japan. And not even that, the next fucking 45 years after World War II ended was literally just nuclear war scaremongering. So that baby boomer generation was like, they could die tomorrow. They could literally die tomorrow. And it was probably true, right? So they go out, they spend, fuck, have kids, buy the newest car, the newest washing machine, the newest television set, blah, blah, blah. Right? And that was how Gen X was raised in. They were raised in that hyper consumerist culture. It's no wonder why we turned out the way the fuck we did. Right? And the thing is, the previous generations before us had the money somewhat to fulfill their consumeristic urges. We don't, but people still are consumerist as fuck. They will consume just anything that just makes them feel good. And I think that's why victimhood is such a huge industry right now. Because you will cling on to this it's a protagonist narrative, right? You have the whole world against you, this and that. They look down on you. They tell you you're this, you're that, blah, blah, blah. And some of it could be right, yes. But the thing is, what do you get out of buying into your own victimhood? You basically have bought it's basically like you become a perpetrator yourself by buying into your own victimhood. And especially when people are taking the lead from their own victimhood from other people who are just incredibly fucking money hungry, incredibly hungry for attention, and essentially to just be worshipped. And not only that, they're too fucking lazy, not even lazy, but just they're too fucking petulant to actually get the things that they can. To see, I have to use certain words to really describe what I'm saying, because this life lies to you a whole fucking lot, right? This life lies to you a whole fucking lot about the things you can and can't have. But even then, people buy into that, right? Especially now, because I usually talk a lot about the fat acceptance movement, and how much of a fucking parasitic, like, it is the one of the most parasitic movements I have ever seen. Like, the kind of I don't even know. I don't even know. Like, the amount of times I've heard the words famine and subjugated and starvation coming out of a single movement is astounding. You wouldn't even hear that shit out of a UN food aid program that often, right? People are so oppressed because they can eat 4,000 fucking calories a day. That's why they're oppressed, right? They have zero some the bioengineered food made by these the $1 trillion food industries has taken over their brains, like, straight up taken over their brains. This is the end result. This is the end result of victimhood. People do things that are incredibly fucking self-destructive, but the allure of just clout and sympathy and online sympathy is just, it overrides their own sense of self-preservation. That's what I wanted to get into. Self-preservation is being eroded. I might even save that for another video. Everyone is a victim nowadays. That's the crazy thing. Everyone is a victim. In fact, most human beings have been victims there throughout existence, right? Having this existence imposed onto you, it it really, you are not even, let's say, yes, you're a victim. You're essentially a prisoner. You're a social prisoner, right? From the moment you're born till you die, you are. But what do you do after that? What do you do when you figure that out, right? Do you feed into it? Do you reject it completely? Because I do. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I was. You're put in a position where you can help so many people, but so many of them spit it back in your face. What do you do after that? They spit it back in your face, and I wouldn't say it's necessarily that everyone's a victim, but everybody experiences and learns. If you don't learn from the things that you've experienced, I think that's what makes you a victim. Because you keep repeating the same fucking mistakes. I can say we are social prisoners, but I can't say we're all victims, right? And this isn't even to devalue people who have been, like, incredibly fucking victimized in this world. This is the reason why I fucking hate this victimhood industry right now, right? People who have been subjected to horrific conditions, right? A lot of it even in their own fucking homes. Oh man, do I have a video to do? Ooh, you're gonna like that one. In their own fucking homes. That I don't know. If you know who I'm talking about, I hope you can remember this Austrian dude who locked his daughter in his house while his wife, her mother, was living, like literally he locked his daughter in the house, in his family house, right, where his wife also lived, and she was imprisoned there for like 20 years. Oh man, I'm gonna make a video. I'm going to go in on that video because wow, wow. But yeah, let me not take up too much time because I have a lot. My mind is really running wild today.